All right, today's October 30th, and me and J Dub here today.
Monday morning.
Monday morning, top of the week, man, top of the week. So we about to do a recap of week 8. Yesterday, Thursday games, just all that, just to see, like, just to talk about what we thought, how we managed it to get through it. Seemed almost not as bad as the week before last, but um whatever. But first game I want to talk about is Denver upsetting Kansas City. Um, who would have thought?
Yeah, I mean, they said Mahomes was sick all day, woke up sick, got put on the injury report. I guess he had the flu, was just taking fluids in all day and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, he looked bad. I mean, they didn't look good at all.
I mean, the
Um,
defense let the scores go though. So
they did, but I mean, it's not like Denver did anything impressive. It was more of the Kansas City just. I mean, they just didn't have it yesterday. But yeah, it was surprising to see. I think they've won. I mean, I think they've beat them like 18 straight times before that. So, yeah, definitely a surprise. Um, not as many surprises this week, but there was some weird scores out there for sure.
I honestly thought that the Eagles were going to lose to the Commanders early. Looking at it, I was like, damn, they can't move the ball. Like they couldn't move the ball at all.
Yeah,
Um,
they
but
they Washington plays them tough pretty much every time they play. I mean, it just seems like, um, and I tell you what, like I watched the end of that game and man, McLaurin had a couple awful drops. What that would have been drive killers, bro. I mean, just dropped them bad drops. They would have been in the game. They would have won the game, I think, if he makes these catches. I mean, they were that bad. So, but yeah, it was okay. The the Browns game was entertaining.
yeah, I honestly, I took the Browns plus 4.5. I mean, they
Yeah,
covered that spread, but
yeah,
um, I actually thought that they should have won. They gave up that weak ass touchdown at the end of the game. With 32 seconds left, PJ Walker just
there's
whatever.
a lot of controversy. There's a lot of people talking about the play calling selection. So real quick, we can run this down real quick. I just have an opinion on it. So 2:04 left in the game. They call timeout. But if you look back prior to that play, prior to that, they had it was second down. They snapped the ball with about 7 seconds left on the play clock. If they take that down to 1 or 2, they get to take that down to the 2 minute warning.
Yeah,
That's one. Two. Now that's on PJ. That's on the quarterback to take it down all the way, and then I mean that's on him. The second thing that happened was after they take the timeout at 2:04. I don't mind. Now they should have ran the ball. I feel like they should have ran the ball there. And worst case scenario, it goes to the 2 minute warning. You punt it. Hopefully you pin them back inside the 20. You know what I mean? But I like the aggressive play. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? You're on the road. I'm not mad at him throwing it on 3rd and 3. My problem is that you have PJ Walker as your backup. That's my problem. So there's so many angles on which they showed all the receivers that were open all day long, and he had a clean pocket. So he's not seeing the field. He's not seeing it. So it's not they're winning in spite of him, not because of him. And to throw a ball off a guy at the line of scrimmage's helmet,
no, don't do that, bro.
oh
Don't.
man,
Nah, dude jumped. It was like perfect timing, bro. You can't sit there and make it seem like he deliberately
put
did
his
that.
hand
Don't
up, he
do
hit
that.
it too.
Hey, no,
He
hey,
put his
Justin,
hand up too. It
Justin,
was horrible. It was horrible.
hey,
It was
Justin,
absolutely
Justin,
terrible. He had Njoku 5 feet in front
Justin,
of him.
Justin,
5 feet in front of him.
Justin.
5 feet. I'll show you the picture.
Hey, look, Justin,
All 22 shows it all.
Justin.
Terrible.
You can't make it seem like he did that deliberately, bro.
I didn't say he did it deliberately. I'm saying he did it because that's who he is. That's the quarterback he is.
Bro.
He's not good. He played in
Justin,
the XFL for a reason.
Justin.
This is on. This is on Barry for trading Dobbs. Dobbs is better than PJ Walker.
Yeah,
This
no,
is on
Dobbs, yeah,
for
no, he
trading
is
him
100%. But that's
and
not.
not doing anything since then. Instead of hurting Deshaun's feelings, I'll give a shit about Deshaun right now. I'll give a fuck about him, really, honestly. That's how they need to win. They need to get a quarterback in here that can win games and manage. That, we talked about Kirk Cousins last week. Obviously, that's not happening. He got hurt. Wasn't going to happen anyway because they had won the previous game, so they're still like in it.
Yeah.
But call Carolina and go get Andy Dalton. Nothing major. You're not going to cost you hardly anything. They're going to they're not going to, he's not going to play. He's got to be with the rookie for a little bit. Go get him. He can start tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, and be competent and make the plays, make the little 5-yard dump off, check down to the guy that's wide open. I mean, this isn't on Stefanski to me. You could have ran the ball, but why not go win the game on the road? I am on that. I like that. I like the aggressiveness.
No, I mean, I agree with you. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole game. I basically watched the beginning of it and then the end of it. So just looking at it from my perspective, PJ, he did the best he could do. Basically,
I agree with that.
The defense played a decent game of defense, like Seahawks. So like,
yes.
Yeah. So at that point in time, it's like we gotta sit back and we gotta look at the situation at hand.
He's a game. What do you want to call it? He's a gamer. He ran a little bit yesterday, which I liked. It helped a little bit because he's terrible. He's not good. So you have to do these little things in order to move the chains on third down. That he just, I don't know. He looks at Amari Cooper and that's it.
Because that's the only person that really catches the ball. Like Peoples Jones.
Peoples Jones is wide open.
Peoples Jones is terrible this year. He's been terrible for the last 2 years.
No, he was solid last year. He was solid when he had a quarterback consistently last year. He had 800 yards or something last year. He was fine. This year, you have nothing. You had Deshaun coming back, trying to get into it, gets hurt, out, in, out. You got the rookie playing quarterback. You got the guy from the XFL playing quarterback. Like, the guy from the XFL is not going to look at the fourth receiver. He's stuck on one first read. Like, that's all he's got. And he can't even get him the ball. I'm over it. As a Browns fan, I can't watch that shit no more. Like, you need to suck it up and move a 4th-round pick and go get a quarterback that can actually.
Trade deadline's like today,
Tuesday, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So and here's the problem: like, you have Baltimore and Pittsburgh coming up. You can't go into those games with PJ Walker. I'm sorry, you can't. You just can't. I mean, not if you want to win. So that's my cap from the Browns game. They played hard. I thought the defense played really good in the second half. I think they only had 1 first down until that last drive in the second half, Seattle. So, but Seattle did a bad job too. They were up 17. They're up and they're throwing the ball around. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird kind of situational game. But yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, other than that, the games, that was an entertaining game though. Most of the games weren't really. The Bengals really put it to San Francisco. I mean,
that's what I was just looking at. So I was actually just looking at that. So Brock Purdy, Brock Purdy is just like now he's been humbled at this point. 3 straight losses.
Yeah.
I thought Brock Purdy was decent. I never thought he was a superstar. But still, I feel like he's still good. Like, I feel like he's still decent. He's definitely been humbled though. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, or maybe the 49ers, obviously their defense is obviously Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a powerhouse though. We got to sit there and look at. We got Joe Burrow, Higgins. You see what I'm saying? We got
guys that are banged up though right now. So San Francisco, Debo's not playing, hasn't played the last couple. Trent was out. Trent Williams was out yesterday. McCaffrey's banged up. He only got 12 carries yesterday. These are, I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be fine. They just have to, tread some water right now. You know what I mean? But Cincinnati, though, on the other hand, looks. I don't know what got into Mixon yesterday, but he played very good yesterday. It was weird. He looked slow to me all year, and yesterday for some reason he had a burst. But yeah, Cincinnati's turning the corner. I mean, the AFC North is
We
no
knew it
joke.
would, though. We knew it would happen because at some
Yeah,
point,
yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, it's just a matter of time before he turned it on. I mean, other than that, um, we touched on the Eagles. The Jags look tough, man. I
yeah, I
mean,
was gonna say that was my next. Yeah, so like the Jags, we both feel like Jags will probably win that division. Uh,
easy.
they're playing really well. This is something
Yeah.
that's never been expected from the Jags in my years of watching football. Just like the Browns, kind of.
You know what's weird is like they've had some uh weird situational football things. So like they've had to go overseas for a couple weeks. They've come back. They've played a cold, wet game yesterday in Pittsburgh. It was raining like the whole time in their game. They played well. I mean, they seem to be able to play in any kind of situation. Lawrence does turn it over though. I mean, you can get to him because he turns it over at least once. It seems like once or twice a game. But I mean, they're solid, man. They're solid up and down. And I think they're going to be right there. They're definitely winning that division. I just don't think anybody else is very good in that division. Um, so yeah, I mean, other than that, Kirk Cousins going down, that was tough to see. That dude he's a gamer too. He's another guy that's a gamer. Just unfortunate things, but yeah, he'll be out for the rest of the year. They don't have much for a backup. The quarterback play in the league in general is just taking a step down. I mean, it's just the backup situations are. There's a lot of backups out there playing, and they're not playing very well. That's why you see a lot of these unders. I think that's part of the reason that the under trend is working because of the quarterback play. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had. The Cowboys looked really good. I mean, they're hit or miss, man. You flip a coin, you don't know what you're going to get with them. I mean, so that's. But other than that, that's what I got from this week.
Ravens looked decent. I don't think that game should have been that close, but
No, but they slept through it. They were up 24-7, I do believe, at some point. So they kind of took the foot off the gas and.
Miami's still doing Miami things right now. I don't think after against the Eagles, after Miami got exposed like that, like I'm scared of Miami. Like
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna do much after that because they're everybody they've played has been weak until the Eagles for real. Like
yeah, I mean yeah. No, that's for sure. I mean they're gonna have to play better. I mean they played okay yesterday. I mean, but when they play the good teams, we'll see what they got to bring. I mean that's next week. I'm not sure who they have next week, but I'm trying to look at what is for next week, but it's acting funny right now. So, but yeah,
Miami got a bye next week. Yeah, they got a bye.
oh, okay.
So we'll see. All right, let's move on. We got the Raiders versus Lions. Lions minus 7.5 over under 46.5.
I really like the Lions in this spot. I mean, coming off the bye, the Raiders don't do much for me at all. I mean, I'm not into the Raiders at all. I just think the Lions. This is a great bounce back spot for them. I mean, coming off an embarrassing loss in Baltimore where they got thumped. I mean, they got handed pretty good 38-6, I want to say. So I think it's a great bounce back spot for them at home. Come home, get the dub. There's a couple props I like. My play for tonight for this game, there's a couple plays that I have out there that I haven't locked in yet, but one play that I really like is Michael Mayer, the Raiders tight end, over 21.5 yards. Detroit is second worst against the tight end this year. I've tried, we've banged this a couple times already this year against Detroit, and it's worked out. So we're going to go one more time with it here, and I think he gets over 21.5. Another maybe a small, tiny play. Josh Reynolds. I've been on this since week one. This is Goff's guy. He played with him in LA. He came over with him in Detroit. When he's in a little pinch and needs a play, this guy only catches 3 balls a game maybe, but they're always for about 20 yards a pop. So if you can get this number right, I think his yardage is at 35.5. He's went over in this almost every game. So I kind of like that on a small level, and I like the Lions in general. And I would fade Josh Jacobs tonight. I mean, that's what I would do.
Can you say that? Can you say what number again for the wide receiver?
Josh Reynolds, 35.5
Okay.
is his prop. I'm not sure how I'm going to play that exactly yet, but I'm definitely interested in that.
So we got Montgomery out again.
Yep.
That's
So Gibbs should get plenty of run here.
Gibbs barely ran last week though.
He did. I mean, but last week he was coming off the injury, so now he's got another whole week, and he got another extra. It's Monday night, so he got an extra day. I think he'll be ready to roll tonight. I'm gonna stay away from his props just because of the uncertainty of the injury and his carry load. But I expect them to be winning this game throughout the whole game. So the carries are going to be there for somebody in that backfield, and that's why I like Mayer to go over in the pass. His receiving for the Raiders, and Reynolds is sneaky though because the game flow might not be for him because of the situation them being up. So. I might, depending on what that is, but I like Detroit tonight, and I like the Mayer prop.
All right. Now we're switching to the NBA. The Bulls versus Pacers. Pacers minus 3.5 over under 229.5. The Pacers has looked very good this year. Not very good. They've looked better than they have. Adding Toppin, adding Bruce Brown. They picked up a couple free agents or made So
if they defend at all, they'll be good. They'll be decent. Yeah, they just don't defend really. I mean, but I do like that. I do like some of their pieces, and the Bulls have looked awful. They have not looked good.
Levine put up 51 the other day and still lost.
And they lost. He had half their points. I think they only had like 104, and he put up damn near half of them. They just lost to Detroit by 16 the other night. Their only win has been Toronto in overtime, and Indiana played the Cavs minus Donovan and Darius, and I mean they were out pretty much everybody. So, and they won by 12. They beat they've beaten Washington. These are, I don't know. I see this 3.5. Gosh, I don't know. I kind of like the over, if anything. I would lean that way. But other than that, Chicago's playing bad defense. You can maybe look at Halliburton's assist total. He's always putting up double-digit assists. I don't know.
He's like a walking double. He's like a walking double.
He really is. He really facilitates it well.
Yeah.
And when he's shooting it well, he's real tough.
On fire. Yeah, he's consistent when he's on. So
yeah. So his over. I mean, his assist is only 9.5 tonight. I kind of like that. The juice is pretty heavy, but it's heavy for a reason. He's probably going to get double digits for sure. So I do like that if you want to get some action on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I like the Pacers a lot this year. I'm looking at the pace of the game. They're third, and Chicago's 27th.
I think they speed them up tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they, Chicago's defense is a little better than Indy's, though.
They are, but they like to slow it down a little bit. But, if Indiana's making shots, I mean – they're not going to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't see. I don't know. I don't really have a great feel for this, but I definitely think Indiana's on the upswing, and the Bulls just came out real slow.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree. I think at some point it's going to turn around, but Indy tonight, I don't like the spread because I really feel like Chicago might pull one out because I feel like DeMar and Levine. Oh, DeAndre Drummond has been playing kind of better than he's played in the last 2 to 3 years. He looked very well out there, especially against the Thunder. I was very surprised by his play. And then
he's way more physical than Vucevic.
Yeah, and it's like more coordinated. I don't know where the fuck this coordination come from. Dude seemed like he never had coordination his whole career. Now he crossed niggas over, all types of shit. Like I'm just like, who is this man? Like, but no, yeah, no, he's definitely a lot more physical. I think that they need that, and I think that that's realistically where they sleep at is at that center position. I like Vukovic. I like dude though. Like, but I
I do
think
too. He spreads the floor, and he just don't defend. You know what I mean? For being a big dude, he's pretty big. I mean, but he doesn't guard real well. I mean, I don't know. They'll have Miles Turner for Indiana tonight to deal with, so that'll be, he'll stretch them out. You know what I mean? He likes to shoot the three, so he'll definitely stretch Drummond out. If Drummond's in the game when he's in the game, that's a mismatch for Indiana.
yeah, no, I agree. So just looking at that, it's kind of like I don't know what to expect. I really don't like it. I don't really have a take on it, but I mean, 3.5 is a weird number for me. Pacers are at home though, so maybe they can continue to go. I mean, at this point in time, you got to keep going with them until they lose.
Yeah, playing well.
So, all right. We got the Pistons versus Thunder. Thunder -1.5 over under 225.5. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going Pistons. If I took this game, I don't necessarily know if I will or I probably won't, but
they've looked good.
The Pistons has looked really good. Cade Cunningham is going
great. Yes. I like his game. I like what he's doing. Yeah, I agree.
I just hope he can stay healthy. He hasn't been healthy in 2 years. Like it's been 2 years where he's just been hurt. But I think that this is a year that he can make it make sense for him and his career at this point because now he's becoming a household name.
I mean,
Go ahead.
No, they have tons of first round picks in their line. I mean, they have tons of guys on this roster that were first round picks that are, they're starting to add up. You know what I mean? They're starting to make a difference.
Yeah. And I think Cade actually being the dummy for the U.S. team this summer, he actually was torching the start. He was torching that whole entire team. Like they were playing against him, kind of try to like figure out matchups and things like that. And like they said that dude was torching them all summer. Like, so just torching everybody on that USA team. So like at that point in time, it's like now it's like he's kind of getting the respect. Because I was so confused. I'm like, how this dude didn't play at the end of the year, like damn near the whole year, and like now he fully healthy, like just playing US, like playing against like whatever. But at this point in time, I just hope that he's averaging 22 points a game right now, 22, 3, and 8. Those are decent numbers.
So I got a crazy play right here for you. So this kid's been outstanding. So like he's a floor. He doesn't like. So this guy's not going to fill it up every night, but he's a what do they call him? A stat sheet stuffer. This dude puts up crazy numbers. So I want to make sure. I don't know if his name is Ozir. I think it's Ozar Thompson is his last name for Detroit. It's a rookie. He was, I think, the 4th overall pick or 5th. Oh, I think he was the 5th overall pick. This kid. So his props for rebounds, and this even going back to the preseason, he was killing the rebounds. His props only been at 6.5. I think tonight it might be 7.5. But his first 3 games, he's had 7, 13, and 12 rebounds. And he's a forward. He's not even the center. I really like this kid's game. He has a lot. He's not flashy or nothing, but he's a big guard / forward. I mean, anyway, I would knock this prop. I want to see what the prop is tonight. It looks like so his prop tonight for rebounds is 7.5. I like it. I like that a lot. The Thunder, they don't have crazy big men. They got a bunch of, middle-sized guys. Chet's not big physical guy. I like him to go in and get his rebounds tonight. I kind of like that play.
Chet's got to gain 20 pounds.
Shit, so does what's his face, Wembanyama. I mean, he is getting pushed around like crazy. But
that's at the top of the key. Dude might as well play point guard at this point.
That's what we talked about this last week. I don't need my 7-footer to shoot threes. I don't need that. That's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to, be a presence down low and stretch it when you can. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But I'm with you. I think the Pistons have been playing well. We'll see how they do on the road tonight. The Thunder's been on the road. I think the whole time. I don't know if this is their home opener or not, but I know they've been on the road for a while, first few games at least. Let me double check. No, they had their home opener already and got crushed by Denver. So they'll be looking to come back after winning 2 games on the road. Yeah, we'll see how they do.
Yep. We got the Mavs versus Grizzlies. Mavs minus 2.5, over under 228.5. I like Dallas. The reason why I like Dallas is because I feel like Dallas is now starting to make sense of their situation. Looking at Kyrie and Luka, they're playing better together than they have in the past since last year. I don't think that the Mavs really still have much to offer, but I mean, without John, Steven Adams, I feel like Memphis is just
They've come out slow for sure.
Yeah.
Another team that's come out real slow. I think they're 0-3, if I'm not mistaken. Dallas doesn't have a ton of size to affect them, but the Grizzlies are a bigger team. I don't have a feel for this. Is one I'm probably going to stay away from. Even though, Dallas has started off 2-0. They've played pretty well. They've played okay. But they've also played Brooklyn and San Antonio, so they haven't played exactly crazy competition. While Memphis lost to Washington, lost to Denver, lost to New Orleans. So, New Orleans and Denver are really good teams. Washington, we'll see how they go this year. But this is in Memphis, 0-3. I don't know. Something tells me that they're going to end up getting their first win tonight.
Memphis is averaging 16 turnovers, and you can't really average those type of turnovers when you got Luka and Kyrie. Those are legit playmakers, and that makes that harder because, if they're going to have that, Denver's only averaging, I think, 9.5 turnovers, and they're averaging 16.3. So that's a big issue coming into that, honestly.
I tell you what, man.
Offensive rebounds. They're 24th in the league, in Denver. Not Denver. Dallas is 3rd. I
don't really like Dallas's roster. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of. But if they put it together, they put it together. It doesn't really matter what I think about the roster. But they do go pretty deep with Jeff Green and Seth Curry, and they go pretty deep. I think maybe for tonight I might lean towards Memphis to get eventually they're going to get a win. It's on their home floor.
I still think it's tonight.
Yeah, it might not be tonight, but I really don't like this game. I'm gonna stay away in general, but wouldn't shock me either way.
Yeah, no, I'm even preseason right now. The Grizzlies lost the last 5 games. I just don't think. I think without Steven Adams and without Ja, it's a problem. They're a problem, bro. They're not going to be good. They're not
Yeah, they're gonna be. It's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for them.
2.5 though. I feel like that's not too crazy.
It's not.
But I think they will come out with the win. The spread will probably change. Also, I'm gonna look at some props.
Sure.
In a little bit. But yeah. All right. We got the Warriors versus the Pelicans. Pelicans minus 5.5, over under 226.5. I don't know why this game is like this, but I'm confused. But you got to go to Warriors plus 5. You have to, unless we're running into that situation where it was last year when they lost damn near every game on the road.
They've won their last 2 on the road. They're 2-0 on the road. They won in Sacramento, and they beat Houston, but whatever. But still, they played last night. New Orleans has an extra day's rest. They're at home. The situation does line up a little bit for New Orleans, but I don't like the spread.
5.5 is a lot. It's a lot when you got Steph Curry. Period. I don't give a fuck. Listen, when you have Steph Curry, you're in every game.
Oh yeah, they're shorthanded though too. I mean, they're
Who?
still
Who's?
are they still without Draymond? Is he
No, he's
back yet?
he started.
Okay,
Yeah, he started yesterday. That's Chris Paul came off the bench yesterday.
I see it at 4.5 right now on BetMGM, so it is coming down a little. Um, but it is juiced towards the Warriors. They're minus 115 at 4.5, so that number could easily come down again to 3.5 here by the time game time starts. So if you
Oh
know,
yeah, damn it! It is at 4.5. That's crazy,
yeah,
bro. We started the show 30 minutes ago. Like spreads
yeah,
just
and it's
changing,
yeah,
dog.
it's steamed too to that 115. So I definitely feel like this could get down to 3.5. So if you're on New Orleans tonight, I'd wait, hold out. This number might get down to 3.5 for you. But if you're on the Warriors, I'd get it now before it steams down.
Yeah, I like the Warriors though. Um, I like it. So gotta look at some props too. Gotta always look at Chris Paul's props on the assist side. Um, Pelicans defense is not the greatest, but they've actually been playing a lot. They've been playing as a whole. They've been playing better. We've talked about this since day one, since NBA started, that we knew that the Pelicans were going to be a better squad than they have been. Um, Golden State's third in steals. Damn. Pelicans is 26th in turnover. So that's another team. Like I said, that's another situation like where you don't want any turnovers because Klay Thompson
Yep.
and Draymond and Curry going to capitalize on those. So I like Golden State plus 4.5. I'm gonna probably lock that in.
New Orleans is one of the better defensive teams too. They played a slower pace. All their games this year so far have definitely went to the under. So 215, and then gosh, the other one didn't even get to like 190. So 226 is I might want to take a look at that. Even the Warriors have played 1-1 to the under so far. Last night, it only got to 201 last night, and that was against Houston, who's a run and gun team. So this could be more of a defensive game a little bit here. It could. So I'm leaning a little bit towards the under just a touch, especially
Yeah,
with Golden State on the back to back
yeah,
traveling. From Houston to New Orleans, not that big of a flight, maybe a couple hour flight, so it's not too bad. But still, older team. We'll see how they come out tonight.
yeah. I probably won't look. I haven't had a chance to like look at that yet, but um, I'll take a look at that in a little bit. But I mean, Warriors to me, it just seems like a lock of the day. That seems like the lock of the day for me for at 4.5. That's just me. But like all this stuff is early. Everything we talk about is early. Like we literally change our mind damn near every day on what we want to take. We are just here basically to provide you guys with what we see on paper and what we see, like, you know what I mean, not necessarily what to necessarily take. But I think that like with this game, I feel like the Warriors is the lock of the day. But Zion could go crazy. Ingram could, like, I mean, they have a solid team. So like Zion has become one of my favorite players too. So like I don't ever want to root against them, but I think that like with him being healthy this year, with him seeing the preseason that I've seen of him, I'm excited to see it if he can finish the season at a high level or even finish the season in general. But I like the Warriors today. So all right. We got the Heat versus the Bucks. The Bucks minus 5.5 over under 224.5. This game is the Bucks got pumped last night. Pumped. So
this is a back to back for them, but it's at home. So they were at home last night. So they're not going anywhere. So this, even though it's a back to back, it's not really. Sitting at home, it's nice. It looks like Caleb Martin and Love are game time decisions, and Middleton's a game time decision. Middleton didn't play last night. They got handled pretty well last night to a way lesser opponent in Atlanta. So I mean, they lost by 17, and it really wasn't close. It was 20 the whole game. So I expect them to bounce back tonight to some extent. I don't know if 5.5 seems a little rich, but I do expect Milwaukee to come back and win tonight. I just don't know. You got to look back and see on the injury report who's in and who's out before you make a call on this one.
Yeah, I mean, losing to Atlanta last night scared me. I mean, Dame didn't do anything. I don't think Dame had like. Excuse me. Last time I checked, when I was like watching, I watched it for a little bit, and I'm like, damn, Dame not doing shit. He had 9 points when I checked, and that was damn near the third quarter.
You know, last night Dame he was 2 of 12 for 6
Oh yeah, he
points.
had 6 points, so he didn't even have 9 points. I'm tripping. So yeah, he had a rough day, and that and anybody who knows that, he had 6 turnovers. God damn. Anybody who knows Dame knows that's not a typical Dame game. So yeah, I believe that they bounce back, and I believe that they put it to Miami. 5.5 is kind of rich.
Plus, Dame wanted to go to Miami the whole time. This whole summer, he was talking about going to Miami. Yeah. So this is a great situation. I feel like for a Dame prop for him to bounce back tonight.
Yeah.
And I always like looking at his 3 prop, especially when he's after he coming off an off night like tonight. Like last night, he was 2 for 8 from 3. We'll see what I'm about to look real quick and see what his 3 prop is tonight. But if it's in that 3 range, that's definitely worth taking a look at just because I expect him to completely bounce back tonight. I mean, it's not out yet right now, so going to have to wait till later to see if who's playing, who's in, who's out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just like it to a point like where whatever makes sense for them. I think the Bucks will actually be like a super contender after seeing the first game, seeing how they mesh together at the end. Dame just had an off day, which is rare, you know what I mean? But you're not going to be on every single night. But yeah, he's not going to have 2 bad nights in a row. So
I like that.
I probably want the spread is 5.5. I'm not touching that. But if it drops down, goes towards Miami a little bit more, maybe. I mean, if it goes down, favor the Bucks, then I'll run with it. Maybe if I can get it at like 4, maybe. But no, probably not, because I'm gonna just like you said, look at some Dame props. Look at some props of that game actually, because I feel like everyone's gonna be trying to have a crazy game via Miami and via Bucks. So.
Yeah, the other thing I always look at with Miami is Bama Bio or whatever. His rebound prop is always curious to me. If he goes up against teams that are a big team and have big guys that tend to get like last game against Minnesota, I don't even think he had a couple rebounds. So I always look at his prop. Tonight might be a little.
Drew always take him under.
Yeah. It's all about matchups with him. If he's, like I said, if he's playing a big team, he tends to stay under. And Kevin Love also. If Kevin Love is not playing, I like Bam more likely to go over. If Love plays, Love tends to steal some rebounds from him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
They got a bigger team tonight. You got to think Giannis gets a ton of rebounds. You're going to have Lopez down there. You're going to have Bobby Portis down there. They got some quality big guys. So it might not be a play tonight. I think it's 8.5 tonight. I like it more when it's 9.5 because he tends not to get double figures. So, but yeah, it's something to look at.
Yeah, for sure. We got the Jazz versus Nuggets. Nuggets minus 7.5 over under 227.5. This spread is a lot. Me going up, I Denver on a back-to-back. I like the Jazz.
So, Jazz are coming off a 22-point loss to Phoenix. I want to look at some of these numbers because Clarkson had so you know how we've been talking about Clarkson, you know what I mean? We like to, get involved.
Yeah.
Especially when he plays a good team, he plays good defense. So Denver is one of those teams that can defend. Last game, Clarkson had 5 turnovers in 22 minutes. So that's quite the clip. He was 3 of 10, 0 for 3 from 3, and 5 turnovers. Was a minus 26 when he was on the floor. These are the situational things that I like to look at. Going up against a pretty quality team in Denver, I'm kind of liking that turnover prop. Let's see what he is for tonight. It's usually in that 2 to 3 range, so we'll have to see where he's at tonight. But, I mean, it's in Denver. Let's see. Clarkson's at 2.5. Is his prop for turnovers. I'm banging that over. So, and it's pretty reasonable. It's even money. So, I like that. I like Denver to win this game too. I don't think Utah is very deep. I like Denver in this one. And I like that. I like the Clarkson prop.
Yeah, I just said I like Jazz just because of the 7 and marketing. Like I feel like he's a problem. Colin Sexton's has been playing decent. Other than that, like I mean, I've not watched him yet this year play. I watched Denver's game. I watched 2 of Denver's games already. I'm not touching it. Excuse me, I'm tired as hell. I'm not touching that. But I like the Jordan Clarkson. I told you I'm taking that every fucking game.
He's had 2, 2, and 5 the first 3 games. So he's only actually went over 2.5 once, but he's bound to do it tonight. So I'm going to take that. He's pretty much good for 50-50. So I like that. That's probably the only way I would play this game if I even play it.
They need to have shot attempts.
Yeah, I mean,
that need to be a prop.
I mean, hell, he had like the 5 turnovers in 22 minutes. That's a turnover every 4.5 minutes.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. He's getting up to that Scoot's on that level too. So keep your eye on that Scoot prop.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point in time, Nuggets minus 7.5. They're at home too. I just don't like it. I think that it's a lot of points. I don't really touch anything that's high in the NBA at all ever. But if I had to lean towards it, I would lean towards Denver, but the spread is 7.5.
Some of these games that are on back to backs. I don't know if you guys like to bet live,
and that's why another reason why it makes sense to take Jazz plus 7 because it is a back to back and 7 is a lot of fucking points.
That's what I like. That's what I was going to say on a back to back. Maybe watch the first half of the first quarter, and get a feel on how Denver comes out and plays coming out on a back to back. I like to do that a little bit, take a look at see how they play coming out of the gates, if they're tired, if they look slow, and then go from there.
Yeah. So we got the Magic versus the Lakers. Lakers minus 1.5 over under 218.5. The Lakers look so bad.
They're on a back-to-back. We'll see who plays tonight. You're going to have to pay attention to that because on a back-to-back, I mean, you don't know who's going to be playing for them tonight.
I mean, they are not looking good. They're dependent on a 38-year-old man to carry this team. Mm-hmm. I had a conversation with my barber the other day, and he was saying that everybody wants to give AD the torch, and he said that like AD is not Jordan. AD is not Pippen.
Yeah. He's not a lead dog. He's just not. He's just not.
So, looking at that, like I guess like Brian's just gonna have to figure that out, and that sucks because they talked about minute restrictions on the first game, or I think that's maybe what they were trying to do. And it looks bad because they lost like that, taking them out with fucking 4 minutes left in the game and they're down 4. Like that's the dumbest shit against Denver. So like I think that like at this point in time, like dude played, he had 34 minutes going into overtime yesterday and played the whole 5 minute turn. So looking at that, it's just like I think they got to just ride it till the wheels fall off. Unfortunately, Brown's body has been what it's been. I think trying to preserve it, maybe just so he can play with his kids is kind of cool. But like, I mean, granted, I've never played in a high-intensity NBA game, but I don't think that like 5 minutes make that much of a difference potentially. 4 minutes, actually, like 3 to 4 minutes, if we're being honest. But
especially if you can somehow manage. Now, if they can manage the game through the first 3 quarters
without him,
with resting
less
him,
of him, with less of him,
yes, giving him some significant time so that he's can have the fourth or 8 to 9, 10 minutes of the fourth, whatever you want to do. But they're going to have to find that middle ground and try to stay in games, because if they're not in games, they're going to have to play him. I mean, there's no alternative. I mean, plus I honestly feel like the West is better this year. I feel like there's some teams in the West, like in Oklahoma City, these are teams that are banging on the door, you know what I mean? And you have to put yourself in somewhat position to be solidly in the playoffs and everything. So they got to play him.
Yeah, no, I agree. Or they're not. And I mean, looking at today, I feel like the Magics they're not that good. Last year, the Magics, actually, the last year I was on the Magics heavy at one point. I rode them for a while. I think today that they can like cover that spread without LeBron if he decided not to play today. I don't see why.
I mean,
Austin Reeves also has been playing terrible. So they benched dude yesterday, which was crazy.
I mean, it's curious to see what some of these guys that played in that World Cup over the summer look like. You know, they've played more basketball than everybody else. You know, they didn't get that bigger break. That could be, you know, it could be a thing. It could not be, you know, but it's something to keep an eye on at least.
Yeah, they benched dude yesterday. I'm looking at halftime and I'm like, oh shit, like Gabe's starting. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to make the best of the situation. I'm scared for the Lakers right now. I feel like D'Angelo Russell might be a trade piece. I feel like I'm not sure. Prince is looking decent.
He's a role player, you know.
Yeah, Reddish. Reddish. He's probably their best on-ball defender. So the key additions are cool, you know what I mean, but they're still not able to produce.
Yeah, I think you'll get the most out of Vince. I think Vincent's going to give you the most from he's a good backup point guard and he can score the rock. I mean, he can shoot the three. That's what's going to be key for them. I mean, they're going to have guys that can spread the floor and give the space for Bron and AD. But AD's got to play. He's got to man the fuck up. I mean, I don't know. He just, gosh, I mean, I don't know. I'm surprised LeBron's put up with that for so long. Typically, he would say something. Typically, like in the past, if a guy's not producing, I mean, AD goes away, you know, at times. You know that. He misses a whole half. He doesn't do nothing.
Well, he's not saying nothing. Bron's not going to do that now. I don't think. Media.
Not this late in his career. I'm talking like earlier. I don't know if he'd have put up with that with him for this long. He'd have got him up out of there and brought some new, you know. But they're gonna need to pick it up because they look like last year, kind of.
Yeah, they're gonna be scrambling around at trade deadline to barely make the playoffs, and yeah, like it's just like it's a lot. So I think that they rest some people today, and hopefully gives them the reps. Like AR, he needs those reps probably all game. Maybe see like what the other people off the bench could do. That Christie dude is a lightweight fire. Like they don't play dude at all. Dude from Indiana, I think he went to Indiana, right? Yeah. So
I think I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to pick it up. That's for sure.
Yeah. Within time, everything will be settled.
Yeah.
I think it'll make sense. All right, that concludes today's show, man. We will holler at y'all tomorrow. Holler.